You're watching Rurouni K95's anime review on MD Geist II, Death Force. Hi Ruronis, this is your pal, Rurouni K95 here. So today I decided to do another anime review because I already looked back at my previous anime review on MD Geist Most Dangerous Soldier OVA, which I covered on my anime review, that's why. So for today's anime review, we're going to be reviewing an anime movie that came out in 1996, which is MD Geist Death Force, or MD, also known as MD Geist II Death Force. Less than a year after Geist activated the Death Force, which decimated most of Jera's population, he has kept himself busy by dismantling the Death Force machines one by one. The remnants of the human population, however, have fled to a remote haven run by a warlord named Krauser. Krauser is another MDS unit, MD1, who has a technology that hides his mobile fortress from the Death Force. When he encounters Geist, an initial fight takes place where Krauser defeats Geist, throwing him from a bridge of the fortress. Sometime after, Krauser and the Geran army plan to lure the Death Force machines into an abandoned city and detonate the lethal Jing Ignit's bomb to exterminate them. And yet again, Geist's programming overrides any shred of humanity he may have, and he leads the Death Force off to Krauser's fortress, leaving Krauser's commandos to be destroyed into the Jignit's bomb detonation. Speaking of which, although most of the Death Force is consumed in the explosion as well, a large number of machines fall upon Krauser's fortress while Geist confronts Krauser himself. Geist kills Krauser in hand-to-hand combat while the Death Force machines consume most of the refugees. Especially in the anime, Krauser is caught in an explosion, and Geist's empty helmet is later shown, so while both are probably killed, neither death is definitely confirmed. So that's probably my review on MD Geist's Death Force. Because MD Geist was originally released in Japan by Nippon Columbia and re-released under the Denon label. In 1988, a trailer of the OVA under the title Thunder Warrior was produced by Gaga Communications along with a streaming of other anime titles. The company was hoping to sell to the North American market. So MD Geist was released in North America by Central Park Media in 1992. 2 years prior, the company used Geist as their logo for their mainstream anime label, US Manga Corps. Curiosity by fans over US Manga Corps' logo boosted domestic sales of the OVA and prompted Central Park Media to collaborate with co-creator Koichi Ohata in producing a sequel. In 1996, Central Park Media released MD Geist Director's Cut, featuring roughly 5 minutes of additional footage, including an introduction and epilogue that paved the way for the sequel. Months later, Central Park Media released MD Geist II Death Force. In addition, the company commissioned Ohata and American artist Tim Eldred to illustrate the comic book adaptation. Speaking of which, in the United States, the Sci-Fi Channel premiered MD Geist 1 and 2 during their Annie Monday block at midnight Eastern Standard Time in September 29th and October 6, 2008, respectively. Following the closure of Central Park Media, MD Geist was relicensed by ADV Films and was re-released on DVD in July 2009. And on top of all of this, it is currently available for digital download on iTunes by Manga Entertainment, along with another anime TV series anime title, Now Then, Here and There, respectively. To concede with the release of MD Geist I Most Dangerous Soldier, which is the director's along with the director's cut version, and MD Geist II Death Force, CPM Manga released a comic book adaptation written and drawn by Tim Eldred with Ohata as a guest artist. The comic was preceded by Ground Zero and served as a more refined version of the original 1986 OVA, in which several details were explained to make up for some plot holes present in the original version. Negstrom is also known as Negstrom in the comics. Kurtz's name goes by the original Japanese romanization, Kurtz. So that's probably how I learned this, about how I look back on my previous MD Geist OVA, which is the first MD Geist OVA, a Most Dangerous Man, or Most Dangerous Soldier, which it was, whatever you want to call it. So the plot about MD Geist II Death Force is probably tell as less than a year after Geist activate the Death Force, which decimated most of Jera's population. He has kept himself busy by dismantling the Death Force machines one by one. Most of the remaining human population have fled to a remote haven run by a warlord named Krauser. Krauser is another MDS unit, MD-01, who has a technology that hides his mobile fortress from the Death Force. Because, speaking of anime from movies from the 90s, MD Geist II Death Force was released in 1996 because it makes sense that MD Geist II Death Force is an anime movie but not an OVA because it came out in the 90s, which is part when it comes to like watching anime in the 90s, that's why. When it comes to Central Park Media releasing both MD Geist movie and an OVA, which is on DVD as well as VHS, which is the director's cut version in 1996, but the original OVA version was released originally on VHS in 1992. We did get a director's cut version on DVD alongside with MD Geist II Death Force on VHS and Laserdisc, and as well as on DVD. When it comes to the physical media on anime titles, as well as you can download one of the MD Geist anime OVA as well as MD Geist 2 Death Force on iTunes, which is part of the streaming download if you have an iTunes, if you have iTunes, that's why. So the thing about MD Geist 2 Death Force, it's probably one of those anime titles that came out in the 90s. That's how I can say it's more different than MD Geist OVA. That's why. Because the nature of a sequel is exploitation. Some sequels, as The Empire Strikes Back, The Godfather 2, and The Matrix Reloaded, added a great deal to the story and mythology, touched upon their most previous incarnations, but for the most part, sequels are a way for a company to cash in on a good or at least popular thing. So is the case of MD Geist 2 Death Force. That's why. Then again, because making a sequel, they wanted to cash in on how they make a sequel, which is a follow-up to an anime. That's why. I guess in the same way how MD Geist 1 Most Dangerous Soldier is probably the only OVA, as well as Death Force is an anime movie. That's why. MD Geist 2 Death Force, the sequel that made 10 years after the 1986 original anime OVA, was founded by US Manga Corp to make some extra dough off of the poorly reviewed OVA, which was nevertheless popular in the West. Not a hit in Japan. The unstoppable killer Geist seemed but all deceased until USMC US Manga Corp resurrected him complete with the original director, although this one has some better artists and slightly better production values, with the flaws of the original are still very evident. Without a coherent script, this one manages to fail on all levels, not even hitting the low bar of the first MD Geist set. That's why. So the thing about MD Geist is probably like an anime film, but instead of an OVA, even though MD Geist II Death Force is like an anime movie, because the Death Force mecha unleashed at the end of the original MD Geist OVA scored the planet Jera for humans, exterminating them as a part of a plan to rid the world of all life. The survivors of this Holocaust are gathering for one last stand under their powerful savior Krauser, who is actually the prototype for the project that led to MD Geist. Geist himself, presumed dead, rises from the ashes of Jera, and the final battle between the old enemies ensued amid the ultimate showdown between man and machine. Because MD Geist is probably like your typical MD Geist II is probably like a 90s anime movie, which is MD Geist II Death Force, because it's a lot more different from the original, a lot more sequel, like what you expect from the original MD Geist OVA. Now, if this was MD Geist OVA from 1986, then I would have been compelled to look back on my previous anime review on the first MD Geist OVA, because MD Geist runs about 40 minutes in the original version, as well as the director's cut version of MD Geist 1986 OVA runs about 45 minutes. That's why. But it's MD Geist II Death Force, because it's a follow-up to the 1986 MD Geist OVA, because it came out in 1996, and it's also available on DVD as a double feature from US Manga Corp. Central Park Media's sub-label for anime, with its distributor Image Entertainment in the 90s. That's why. When it comes to like late 80s, when it comes to watching anime, 80s anime and 90s anime, especially for, I know some may love MD Geist, some don't like it, because I can respect opinion. That's why, as in I respect your opinion, that's how I do. But MD Geist 2, it's okay, but it's like probably like a follow-up to the 1986 OVA. That's why. Funny little world here, hasn't it? Oh, so that's going to be it, and that concludes my review on my anime review on MD Geist II Death Force. So that's going to be it for my anime review on MD Geist II Death Force. You guys, thanks for watching, but before we go, here's my quick thoughts on my MD Geist II Death Force anime review. I have it on the DVD. It's also available on my MD Geist double feature DVD, along with MD Geist Director's Cut version of the original 1986 MD Geist OVA, which is on DVD from Central US Manga Corp. Central Park Media's sub-label for anime. That's why. Hope subscribe for content. My anime plan link in the description down below. Share this video on Twitter and Facebook if you have a Twitter and Facebook account. If you like this video, please give this video a thumbs up by clicking the like button. Please leave a comment on this video of what anime should I review next. Please subscribe to my channel, to RuRoniK95. Feel free to join my channel as well. Please click on my notifications bell button. Check out my videos that I upload as well. Like, subscribe, favorite, comment, share on your social media pages. Please leave a comment on which anime should I review next. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up by clicking the like button on this video. Please subscribe to my channel, RuRoniK95. Feel free to join my channel. Click on my notifications bell button as well. And that's all I have to say. So keep it otaku for this anime review. And that's all I have to say. This is RuRoniK95 saying thank you for watching my anime review on MD Geist II Death Force. I'm glad you liked it. I hope you enjoy it. Hope to see you soon for the next anime review, and have a great day. This is RuRoniK95 signing off, and thank you for watching my anime review on MD Geist II Death Force.